I've told you Violet's story in one night, but she told hers more slowly over the months. And I found myself sympathizing for her, crying the way no book or movie had ever made me cry. Every now and then she'd tell me I could be a model someday, and that I have a face similar to my family's. She never hung out with me when Mag came home. She told me I was the only one she'd ever spoken to about that woman. When I told her she should tell Mag, Violet would blush. She'd say, "You don't understand. I can't ever do that." I really didn't understand, though. I thought if she could tell me, she could definitely tell Mag. Then one day I walked by Mag's room while Violet was over, and Violet was holding her and stroking her back in a way that made me think maybe she had feelings for my sister, which would explain why she couldn't tell my sister about her own past. The way that she could tell me I looked like a model, but not because she loved me that way. I don't think she ever saw me like that. And my sister didn't ever show it if she felt the same way for Violet. And it was my sister who told me that she was going to have a baby. The baby of the guy Violet and I were too late to keep her from. I found him at school. And I told him off. He didn't know who I was and didn't seem to care. My sister was humiliated, though. I was immature as an uncle, and when Drake was born, I was still upset that Mag had gotten pregnant by such a jerk. As he got older, I started taking him with me to DizzGo's, and he was fun, like a little brother. He used to idolize me, and now it seems he hates me. Rudy, Drake doesn't hate you. He just doesn't understand us yet. He thinks we're like that story. And we're nothing like that. You're positive towards me, and you never put me down. That was so tragic, though. Is she all right now? Yeah, thank goodness, she's fine now. But she's never dated anyone since I met her. Well, they would have been in a relationship by now if they both felt the same, right? You know, you'll get to meet them at my 30th birthday party. I'm having it here 17 days from now, on a Tuesday. What would you like for your birthday? More than anything, I value your presence. I won't miss it, but I have to get you something. You beside me is the best present I've had all year. I'll be more than happy if you'll be here with me. I'm a little worried about meeting Mag and Violet, especially now that you've told me so much about Violet. Why? I've told them about you. They're both interested in meeting you. I mean, is it even okay that you told me so much about them? So many personal things? They not only tell their stories to people, they granted me permission to tell others. Except, Violet hasn't told my sister, I don't think. And they feel like if they could help someone with it, they share their stories with them. How was school since you've started back? I keep almost calling your name out when I'm called upon to answer. I keep picturing a classroom full of you. Would you like my help? Then I really couldn't focus. It's all right. That's actually flattering to me that I could be that distracting. You are, but I don't mean it in a negative way exactly. Would it be okay if anything? If we don't make love for a little while, just until my grades improve. Oops. You could always just lick it. I could end up devouring you. You could, I'm your boyfriend. And you know, I didn't say we couldn't make love, so whenever you feel ready again, you can tell me. I set it as a rule for myself. I will let you know when I'm ready again. I love you, Rudy. I'm just going to go, okay? Hi, I'm Violet. You must be Jeanette. Nice to meet you. I just got here. I want to hear all about the way you met Rudy. About 10 months ago, I met Rudy while grocery shopping with my cousin Dane. The last time I saw Rudy was 10 months ago, and he went grocery shopping right after. That's not a coincidence. It was the same night we met. Ah. Dane wasn't really her cousin. I tried to help set the two of them up together, but he was never around. The more time I spent with her, the more I wanted her to myself. In a moment of jealousy, I lost control. I wanted to demonstrate how much I'd come to love her and need her, but I went too far and she rejected me, as she should have, because I wasn't in the right frame of mind. She ended up with Dane, but he dumped her, just as I ended up with Tessa, but she dumped me. She hadn't gotten over me, and then pursued me, and I was slightly reluctant at first because people were saying I might be bad for her. But they couldn't have been more wrong. We've been together for almost 2 months now. It feels like it's been much longer. I've never seen Rudy so happy. I found someone too. Well, not found, but... Wow, why didn't you mention it before? I tried to last time we met. Who'd you meet? Pete. Pete? That Pete? How long have I told you he sounded like he liked you? He told me I was a good girl, and he was proud of me, and I said thank you and kissed him. I instantly was shocked and told him I didn't know what had possessed me. When he said it was all right, and then asked me if I loved him. He looked at me seriously, so I knew he wasn't making fun of me for having kissed him. I told him I hadn't kissed anyone in over a decade, but he nodded, knowing it was true, and told him I hadn't dated or trusted anyone enough to date them since I'd been in high school, and he nodded again, saying he knew. He didn't ask it again. He just waited for me to admit it was true. I told him I love him because he's been there for me through the roughest moments. I used to think of him as a fatherly role in my life, but as I grow older, it's not only that he's there for me to talk to, but I would be there for him to talk to, and I knew if he told me he loved me, or if he told me I was beautiful, it was from the bottom of his heart, and he didn't say it to gain anything from me. It wasn't until I said it out loud that he told me, and kissed me back. Well, I'm happy for you. Jeanette, I've heard a lot about you. I'm Rudy's sister, Mag. It's nice to meet you. Jeanette, I think Dane's here. What? Yeah. Hey. One of these bags is from Tessa and the other one's from me, but he'll know which one is from her because she attached a letter to the first one. The second one is for you as much as it is for Rudy. Your hair, it's like his. I thought you might like it. Did it work? I don't know what I think of it. I don't know what to say. I haven't adjusted it to it yet. Tessa tried talking me out of it, but in a way it was Drake's idea. I also almost didn't come tonight. But it was also sort of Drake's idea that I should. I'm glad I did. You look well. He treats me very well, and I wouldn't accept being treated otherwise. Good. Look, I want to forget everything, and I don't know if I ever will, but would you ever consider being friends? I don't know if that's a good idea. I think that's the only way I can answer right now. Hey, wait, did Drake put you up to asking me that? I mean, if you don't mind, I have a few questions of my own for you. He didn't. What would you like to know? I was talking to Lucille, and she told me you visited Drake. Was it because of what I said to you? In a way, yes. I had nightmares. I still do sometimes about you with Rudy, and to hear that his own nephew didn't approve of his uncle's choice to be with you frightened me. I wanted to hear his opinion, whether it was as strong as mine that you could be in danger by being with Rudy. He was disgusted by me, too. He said it was worse with his uncle because it feels to him like his father's going out with his friend. He's not had a father growing up, but he's always had Rudy. Rudy was young enough when Drake was born to see him as a much younger brother. But Drake always wanted to be like Rudy. He still thought Rudy was the coolest guy and respected him, even for the fact that Rudy didn't date often, until you. He told me about the night he came over to Rudy's house for studying and met you. I was slightly relieved to hear that the car I remember having seen you driven home in that night and didn't recognize was Drake's car, but not very much. He said you both appeared guilty. We didn't have a relationship other than friendship, or maybe courting before you broke up with me. It's not mine to know about. Anyway, he got upset with me for letting you be with Rudy, for not being there for you when I should have been. He was right that I should have been there, but now there's nothing I can do about that. He didn't advise me happily, either, that I should do something to make myself look better. He said I looked bad. Like I was letting everything get to me, and that if I want to be anything to you in the future, I should try a little harder to show I can handle the knowledge of who you've chosen. Again, he was right. So, it might be pathetic I chose the style he had when you met him, but can you blame me? For what it's worth, you're missed, and I'm sorry. I've come to accept you deserve better than me, and I hope that you're better off. You look well. Thank you. I mean, for being honest with me, you hurt me with your absence, but I'm happy again ever since I chose him. I think what you and I had might have been a mistake, and I don't want you to have hope that it's... I don't want you to have hope that isn't there. I don't want to make that mistake with you again. I understand that. You may be right. Mag's gift to Rudy was a jar filled with gummy bears, with a card reminding him he was never too old for candy. Drake and Lucille also signed the card. Violet's gift was a picture in a frame that Rudy didn't hold up and show anyone at first. Why? I took the picture as you left from your house to go to the grocery store 10 months ago. I wanted to show you how sad you looked. Later on, when I was sure you'd be happy, to show you things got better. I was right that night, wasn't I? Yes, you were right. Thank you. Tessa gave him a bag full of salon-quality styling products for his hair, a brush and comb, and included a letter saying happy birthday and apologizing that she couldn't make it, but hoped he'd have fun with his hair. Dane, you came after all. I bought a variety of gift cards to restaurants and stuff, 'cause I wasn't sure which ones you like going to together. That's very generous from you. Of you, I meant. Don't mention it. Help yourself to cupcakes. I think the guests are still here. I can't walk out like this anyway. Surprised? I want you so badly that I don't even know where to begin. It's your birthday. Do anything you want, I'm all yours. Anything I want? Happy birthday. Not what I meant. Please, don't. Whoa. It's not what you think. This is the true nature of your relationship? Why are you like this? Were you trying to humiliate her in front of everyone? Why does she put up with you? He's right. I'm sick of Rudy's behavior. Why is it okay for him to do that? With Jeanette in the middle of his birthday party? Who cares that it's his birthday? Wait, everyone, wait. I think I know what happened. It's the bears. I bought gummy bears for Drake, but they must have been put into the jar by accident. They said they were love potion bears. I bought them from some kids at school. I was going to throw them away when I got home and researched them, finding out that they might be vodka-soaked gummy bears. But I forgot to take them out of my backpack, and when I went over to Drake's house, then they must have been mixed in by accident. I'm so sorry. Maybe so, but does that make it okay? Just let me explain, please. Dane misunderstood what he saw. I forgot you were all here. Rudy was tickling me. I told him to stop tickling me, and that's what Dane heard. And he barged in and saw that we were barely clothed, and well, I don't even know what to think anymore. Maybe I shouldn't have come here. Don't buy candy at school or anywhere it doesn't come in a normal package. I should have known. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It could have been a lot worse. It might be okay now, but you see how harmful it could have been. We're going home as soon as Mag and Violet come back from their walk. They wanted to talk about something. Are you all right? I didn't mean to. My nephew hates me. Dane hates me. You have every reason not to trust me anymore. I lost control and tried to make love to you even though they were here. But Rudy, you weren't in your right mind. You had spiked gummy bears and you might still be drunk or high from them. I'll give you back the gummy bears, Lucille, and you should report the person or people you bought them from. I will, don't worry. Even the worst, most obnoxious of guys want their own happy ending, even if it's hard for us to admit. We don't want to spend the rest of our lives miserable and alone. The questions I saw tonight in their eyes, asking why you love me or ever gave me a second chance, it's not because you look past who I've been before. When I look in your eyes, I see who I am framed inside the truth and love you believe that I'm capable of. Rudy, you're not bad to me. I don't expect from you that you should be my savior, or I don't question how I could love you, but it doesn't matter to me the expressions on other people's faces, what they mean, or anything when they see you or us together. You've earned my love, Rudy. My love is all yours. It's the best thing I could think of to give you. It's the best gift I've ever received. You are. I'm sorry we didn't get to make love tonight. It's all right, I can tell by the look on your face, and just by knowing you can't resist, you'll come back for more when you're ready. I should have told you the other night. I really wanted to, but I was afraid I couldn't focus. I think of you all day, and I just needed to prove to myself for a while that I could handle spending time with you without thinking about my desire for you. It felt like I was losing my mind. I guess that night seemed silly, though. It's not silly at all. I'm glad you explained it to me. I think it actually made our relationship stronger. I think so too. Maybe even tonight as well, although I wish things had gone differently. Or that we'd waited until they were gone. Thank you for always being there for me. You're the best girlfriend ever. I'll always be here for you, Rudy. Could you tell me about the picture? What picture? Oh, that. I'll tell you. On the night I met you, Violet called, told me she was coming over, and I hadn't seen her in months. She'd missed my birthday entirely last year, and because it was rare to see her during that time, I dressed up, ready to go anywhere with her, having just arrived home from work myself. I'd just gotten myself dressed when she was already in my house. She took one glance at me unfazed and went back to the sandwich she'd helped herself to. I told her she really does act like she's my sister. She shrugged, ruffled my hair. She said, "So, Cherry, have you seen Stacy?" I asked her who before realizing she was talking about another girl she'd tried to set me up with. I told her not interested, and Violet scoffed at me. She criticized me because all the blind dates she'd arranged for me with her friends came to her angry, saying I wasted their time. I would go on the dates, but every single time I felt like they weren't what I was looking for. And at the end, when they expected me to kiss them or say I'd had a great time, or even that I'd like to see them again, I'd tell them the truth. I don't see this going further. I'm not interested. When Violet waited for my explanation, I told her, well, I don't see those dates turning into second dates. It wasn't like I even kissed them. I took nothing but the time it takes to eat a meal and drop someone off. She argued that I wasn't counting the anticipation that comes before then, all the hours of figuring out what to put on to impress the guy, or rehearsing things you might ask, or answers you might give to questions. I was wasting their time. So I told her she was wasting their time, because she was setting girls up with me and I didn't want them. She asked me what I did want, that maybe she'd find it for me. I said for the first and last time that night that we could have become something when we were younger. She didn't agree. She just finished eating her sandwich, as if I hadn't said anything. She looked up at me and asked how Tessa was. I said she was out with some guy whose name starts with the letter C, but that's all I could remember. I think then she actually did say she found someone, and when I asked her, what about you? I asked if she wanted to go somewhere, and she told me no. I told her I'd made myself look good for her, so to go nowhere it would be a waste. She said, then don't waste it. You made yourself look good. Then look good for someone. Let me see you leave your driveway and go somewhere in that outfit. She walked up and corrected my hair after she'd ruffled it minutes before and then smiled. You'll find someone. Maybe even tonight you'll find her. Who knows? Maybe your snazzy outfit will catch her eye and she'll want to see you again. That's always possible, isn't it? I'm not setting you up with any of my friends anymore. I'm leaving it up to you now. I know things will turn around. They have for me. I could imagine her sitting in her car waiting for hours just for me to get in the car and drive off and begin trying to find someone. She didn't even require that I text her when I got there with a picture of the place I'd gone to. She gave me the agenda as a present that very night, and I didn't know where I was going, but I didn't want to meet a girl at a nightclub. I didn't want to meet a girl at a coffee shop either. I didn't really know where to go, but I decided I could use the agenda for grocery shopping, and I needed to pick up some things anyway. When I sent her the picture of the grocery store, she said, "Unusual, but it's a start. I hope you'll meet someone there." I had no idea I would end up meeting you, but she was right. Things were going to turn around because the moment I met you, my whole life was turned around. You can see from the picture just how unhappy I looked. I would have been upset had I known at the time that she'd taken my picture, but what's special about it isn't what it shows. The important message is in what it isn't. It's not the present tense with you or the future, it's only the past. I know I've been talking about my past a lot lately, but you are my future. So are you, Rudy. One more thing. You said she called you Cherry. Does that mean... Do you remember the night on my couch when we first kissed? Do you remember when we were about to make love and I'd even asked if you were ready to, and then I was about to say something before the doorbell interrupted me and it was Drake? Yes. I was still a virgin, and I was going to tell you that I had never felt the way I felt with you, and no one had ever made me feel that way before, and people at DizzGo's had taken my innocence. And that one experience that made me stop using the name Cherry at DizzGo's had made me feel impure, but physically, I was pure even when I met you. I had already found myself falling in love with you, and there were times when I teased you and told you I was kidding so you wouldn't get mad at me, but I could sense you felt the same about me, and I wanted to show you, and I wanted to test how deep the attraction went. Your reactions were amusing to me, so of course I loved teasing you, but it was more than that. I wish Dane hadn't been my first. I wish Tessa hadn't been my first, but I'm happy you got to be my second. I am too. I hope you'll be my last. I don't mean that in a morbid way, though. Jeanette. I know exactly what you mean. I want that too. I want our stories to always be unfolding. I love you, Jeanette. I love you, Rudy.